little frightened because this morning I had an inspiration, and in my heart and my soul, it was what I was supposed to share with you tonight, and it's not what I've been working on for the last 2 months. So it's just going to be from my gut and my heart. But one thing, how I want to start, because this is how I always started my days in school with my students, it's also how I start my day for me. Every single day, I write a happy, joyful affirmation. So I don't care if you got your food in your mouth or whatever, you got to do this with me, okay? Say it with me. I am joyful. I am filled with energy so I can share it. I'm filled with love so I can share it. I'm filled with kindness so I can share it. I am fearlessly and wondrously made. I am joy in motion. Okay. I always have to tell you a little bit about how I started so you can now know how I got to where I am. So if I repeat myself and you've heard me before, just ignore that part. First of all, very important for you to know that when I was a young child, I grew up in an extremely tumultuous alcoholic home. There was no order. My mother tried to create order, but as any of you know, if you've lived in that type of environment, it is not an environment where a lot of good examples are around you. So at 10 years of age, I looked around me and I said, I'm not going to be like that. I want to be different. I know that my life has more in store for me than what I'm seeing in front of me. So I knew what I knew to do. I prayed to God. I said, God, help me. Teach me to be the person you want me to be so I can share with others so they can be what you want them to be. That's always been my mantra. So when I was about 10, I started reading all those books that you've heard about. Norman Vincent Peale, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Booker T. Washing Up from Slavery. I just surrounded myself with good books and great people and the things that they were doing. So every time I saw a negative example, I said, nope, 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 that's not going in my little head and heart and soul. I'm going to think about all the things around me that are joyful and are abundant and are amazing. So every single day, that's how I started my day from 10 years of age on. So that when others around me tried to tell me something negative, I ran from it. I did not hear it. Life went on, and I grew up and graduated from school and did all those fun things. And I married somebody much like I grew up with. And imagine that, isn't that funny? So I was once again propelled in this place in my life that I really was going to have to grab a hold to those things that I believed in and be different than my environment. And I wanted to do that so badly. So I went to school, went back to school because I'd gotten out of school, and graduated, did real well in school, and made it through school. It took 8 years. Put all my makeup on at the red lights, studied at the red lights. You know, we just had to do what I had to do to make it through. And all those things I'd learned at 10 years of age came with me. So I just knew, even when I was walking beside the road, we laugh about it now, but we were very, 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 very poor. And I bought cars. My most expensive car I bought back then cost $800. $800. And it was a convertible, and the roof didn't work, so when it rained, one of the children's job was to hold the roof down on the side. And so when it rained, we had to wear raincoats inside the car and stuff like that. And it had a bottom where the water came up, and Brittany would look at Scotty, and Scotty would say, Mama, Mama, my legs are wet, am I getting wet? And Brittany said, Scotty, Mama has told you on days that it rains, you've got to keep your knees up like this. She's told you and told you. Like that was a normal way to live. And I also, it's funny, I saw Ann Lahan last night because she was one of the places we went to when our power got turned off repeatedly. So our power would get turned off, so I'd tell the children that this is so exciting. We're going to have another picnic. We're going to eat by candlelight. You know, they got onto it pretty quickly. But what I'm trying to say to you is this. I started at a place where I had nothing, absolutely nothing, but for some weird reason, and I can't tell you why, I always knew in my heart life was going to be better. I never, ever, ever got discouraged. I always said life is going to be better for me tomorrow. So today, I'm going to enjoy where I am today. And the thing that always helped me through, and the thing that I want to really share with you today, is finding joy in the ordinary so every day can be extraordinary. And how that came about, I had this long speech spread out, and I was so excited because it was really good in my head. I mean, I was sounding so good. I'd be on the beach walking. I said, dang, they're going to think I'm good. They're going to think I'm smart. And that's not what God wanted me to share, so here I am. So what happened was, I am at another event. We do a lot of charitable events at my company, and I'm on the board of directors for Beach Care Services, and we had a great duck race, by the way, those of you that supported it. Over $15,000 raised for our community. So excited. So what happened is, I'm pretty good about being joyful and doing great with affirmations. The one problem I have a problem with is the weight issue. Like, I start out really good, by noon I suck. So I went to this event and I'd had a rough real estate day, and so I said, you know what, I sure will want me some of that tiramisu in Fresh Market. I went by all the Fresh Market crap and went to the tiramisu, and oh, that was looking so good. So I didn't get it, and I was so proud of myself. So I am so excited. Y'all, guess what they had? And I'm so happy. And I was afraid I'd eat them all before I got here, and it was a prop, so I couldn't. It's sugar-free gummy butterflies. Isn't that exciting? I love them. You can try one if you want to. But they're awesome. They're awesome. Sugar-free gummy butterflies. And so what happened to me this morning is I'm going to work and I see those. I go, oh, you know what, Karen? You're not supposed to talk to them about this other thing. You're supposed to talk to them of where do you find your joy? How do you do it? Where does it come from? And how can you have it every day so you can share it? So that's what I'm talking to you about a little bit. And how much time do I have, Tammy? Time almost up, I hope. Pray to God. Oh, darn. Okay. Because this is really terrifying to me, I'll be honest with you. But what I want to talk to you about is, again, I told you I get up every single day and do this. I have a little affirmation book, and I showed my precious, sweet new assistant, Lacey, my books in my office today, and there's the stacks of them. And they're all affirmation books, and they're books that I started writing when I was 10 years old. I also write a love note every month to my precious office, just something that comes from my heart. And these are the things that keep me joyful. It is absolutely impossible to be not joyful when you're spreading joy. Can't do it. Try it. Can't do it. So what I do when I'm driving down the road, I'm backtracking, but I got to tell you this because I was thinking on the way. I have another thing that I do when I'm driving by the road, because everybody's like ticked off at each other and doing the California howdy and stuff, mostly to me because I suck at driving. So my son says that most of his spiritual experiences have happened in driving in the car with me. So back to my program here. But so I'm driving down the road, and what I do is if I'm not joyful, I try to spread it. I'll drive down the road and I go, Lord, help that person in that car driving beside me. I saw this guy in an SUV and I thought, you know what? I hope they're having a great night. I hope everything in their family is wonderful. They got love in their life. So you just say a little prayer for people driving by you. It's so awesome. It's exciting. So just share with you a little bit of the words that I do in the morning. This is, let's see, I had it marked. This is so nerve-wracking, Tarek. That fear thing didn't work for me yet. Okay? It is terrifying, y'all, but I'm supposed to do this, so I do it, you know. Okay, getting back to what I know works in my life, putting on paper my thoughts and dreams so they will one day leap from paper to life. Know that my life, business, and health are in my hands. My hope is that God's Spirit is guiding me with my heart, with a loving heart. Proclaiming victory in all parts of my life. Victory to practice those things that I know work. Affirming that I'm working on what God would have me as my purpose. Listings, more persuasive leadership, health and peace, family. Today I will create peace in my words and my action and my organization. Awaken the possibility in other people. My speak is positive and powerful. And this is one that I hadn't got yet, y'all, so just laugh along with me with this one. And that my office is going to really laugh. I am organized and efficient in all that I do. I'm a great steward of my time and my money. That is also laughable. Thanks be to God for a day filled with love and possibility. So what I do is I start every day and I write these things in a book. Another thing that I started doing when I was very young, I read the book As a Man So Thinketh. I think that book is, gosh, it's over 100 years old. It is a wonderful, wonderful book by James Allen. And what we say really does matter. Words are powerful, breathing, moving things. You cannot speak in a negative way and have positive results. Cannot happen, will not happen every time. But you can speak positive, because I am proof positive, y'all. People ask me all the time, how do you do it? I say, hell if I know. I don't know. I really don't. I just know I'm so excited and so happy, and I have so much joy, and I just want to share it. So that's what I do. The other thing that I do is I started reading Chad, I can't even pronounce his name, Chad Helmstetler. It's a book that's called, gosh, my throat is one. It's a book that is, what do you say when you talk to yourself? And that book is filled with wonderful affirmations and the things that we need to say to ourselves to be positive and productive in all those things that we do. That is another thing I do. This is one of my favorites. Leave the land of mediocrity. Leave the land of mediocrity. Do not do what you are not good at, because you are not good at it. I never have understood that, and I was a special ed teacher. Figure that. It helps with my profession. Sorry, y'all. Okay, but I was a special ed teacher, and the thing that I did differently in special ed was, if you weren't good in math, forget it. Get a calculator. If you weren't, do what you're good at, because that's what people are going to pay you to do. I love what John Maxwell says about that. People ask John Maxwell and say, you know, I'm not good at this. He said, well, don't do it. And he said, well, shouldn't I get better at it? He said, no, because that's not your strength. Do what you have a strength in. People will pay you for that. Like for me, y'all don't laugh and make fun of me, like organization. Nobody's going to pay me to be organized. Nobody. I'm about a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. The best I can hope for is a 4, maybe, if I work real hard at it. Nobody's going to pay me to be a 4, but they'll pay me to be an enthusiastic 10. So work in your strength zone. What moves you? What are you passionate about? Those are the things that matter. And this is the thing that I always love too. This is the thing that has helped me through life. And I will tell you, I really am not good at a lot of things. I mean, a whole bunch of things. But luckily, I'm surrounded by people that are great at a lot of things. And that's when I'm blessed. But the thing that I learned very early on is I totally forgot what the hell I was about to say. Oh, I know. I will never lose based on attitude. So if I'm going up for a job or anything in life, anything, if I matched attitude to attitude, you are not going to beat me on attitude. I promise you. Is that amen from my corner? Amen. That's an amen. So, okay, 3 minutes. Oh, thank God, I'm almost through. Praise the Lord. Okay. Whew. Okay. So, and the other thing about that, about leaving the land of mediocrity is this. Please, please, please do not be realistic. That is a bunch of crap they tell you when you're young. Be realistic. Keep your head on the clouds. Feet on the ground. Bull. C-R-A-P. That is not how to get anywhere. Philip and I talked about that this morning. You know, because if you're busy talking about what you can't do, what you won't do, what is impractical to do, we're out there doing it, you know? So it's just so exciting to me, and I guess that's what I want to share with you, to dig deep within yourselves and just grab it, because I'll be honest with you, I'm scared to death up here right now, and I'm doing it anyway. So I won't know what I said after I get through. But the other thing about that, so I choose, and I've always said that I choose to live in the clouds, because that's where the stars are, and that's where the dreams are. So I don't mess with that junk about being realistic. The last thing I want to talk about very quickly is enthusiasm. I know I'm having a problem with that, but I'm working on it. Enthusiasm is that a magic elixir. It is the great exaggerator. If you will walk into a room enthusiastic, you don't even have to know what you're talking about. They're going to follow you. And this is something y'all might have heard me say before, but I have to repeat it. A lot of times they'll come to me and say, Karen, how'd you do it? What'd you do? I don't know. I have no idea. What happens is I'm so excited about what I'm doing, people follow me. After they get there, they go, she don't know what she's doing, and it's too late to leave. So it's so wonderful. So enthusiasm and motivation and that momentum thing is your great exaggerator. If you have that, you can absolutely suck at some things and people won't know it. So grab a hold of that. Grab a hold of that. And I want to end with something that I want to talk about just real quickly. I was scared today before I came here, and when I was a little girl, and y'all talked about 10 years of age, I started doing those things and writing these affirmations and being different. And one thing I did too when I was 6 years old, I would stand in the tub butt naked and just give speeches and go, you can be what you want to be, you can go where you want to be, go where you want to go, you can be anything you want to be, just try hard, and just all this stuff. So I loved it. If you see on the internet where they've got that little girl that's in front of the mirror, I did that stuff. I still do that stuff. And I can still fit on the thing and do that. But so Stacy reminded me tonight, she said, Karen, she said, remember being that little girl naked in the bathtub. I'm glad other people hadn't come in on the conversation. Being a little girl naked in the bathtub and wanting to share with others, want to share your joy, want to share your hope for others to grab a hold of themselves. And you ask, what does this have to do with business? It has everything to do with business, because I don't care what you know, what you learn, what class you go to. I don't care about any of that. If you don't have a heart and spirit in you that is fed by your spirit and by that joy that's within you, you will be painfully unsuccessful and painfully unhappy. But if you do this thing, grab joy, share joy, spread it. If you do that, I promise you, you will find enthusiasm and joy in every corner you meet. Because I have this theory, and I want you to all have it too, and I know y'all know what I'm gonna say. I have reverse paranoia. I believe that everybody is out to help me. And you know what? They are. And y'all helped me so much tonight because y'all were so sweet and loving and kind to me. Woo! My time's up.